Pushing off my sneakers to the ground, I do not. Pushing off my sneakers to the ground, I do not jump, I move the earth down. Bear witness to the genius of my sound. Born at the bottom, but now I'm knocked down. Look, I'ma call it swagger. I slip through time zones like a cloak and dagger. Mad rubies on my chain, you can see your name bubbling, blood vein. Your girl's in my A because she's sipping on my champagne. That's right, 6 figures in my back pocket. And that's right, 1 million in my safe deposit. That's right, I'm trill all day, on my way to.
What's up, everyone? I hope you all are having a great week. Welcome back to the weekly episode of the Best Damn Clemson Show, where we cover the latest news in the sports world. I'm Evan Cooley, and today I'm joined by...
What's up, guys? Cole Gerard again. Welcome back for another episode.
All right, we're excited to have y'all with us, and today we'll be diving into college football. College football is officially back. We're about 1 week into the Clemson Tigers camp, and today, as we draw closer to opening week, we're going to be talking about the teams that we think are the most overrated heading into the season around the country, the teams that we think are the most underrated, and we'll also be taking a look at the quarterbacks that we think are under the radar around the country and in the ACC. And as always, we want you to contribute, and so please feel free to comment any questions or comments that you have for us, and we'll be sure to address it during our show today. All right. So, Cole, we're about 1 week into camp.
Yep.
College football is just around the corner with kickoff coming on August 31st for the Tigers against Georgia. And, man, I'm just ready for the season to start. It seems like each week.
Forever.
Yeah. So, but without college football starting yet, we're going to have to talk about the what ifs and what could happen. So, let's kick that off and talk about some of the teams that we think are the most overrated in the country.
Right.
Cole, who do you got so far?
Okay, so I think for overrated, I got two right on top of my head, and I'm going to say Texas A&M and Penn State, because I think Bo Prabula, which is going to be Penn State's QB, I think he has a lack of experience and a lack of leading an offense. And their coach is James Franklin. I get mixed up with names. Anyways, I think Penn State is a really good football team, in my opinion. But I think they're consistent enough in the Big Ten to have a chance at a Big Ten title, to sniff the college football playoff. But with the 12 teams this year, I guess, even if they didn't win the Big Ten, they would just have to be highly ranked. But it seems like every year Penn State starts off good. You go about 6-0, and then they drop 3 games.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that kind of sounds like Clemson in the last 3 years. But and then I'm going to have to go with Texas A&M. Just coming off a year where Jimbo Fisher was fired. They're ranked 14th in the country, I'm pretty sure, going into the season.
Yeah. It's
just going to take a lot for me to see if Texas A&M's back, because you can't just – in my opinion, you don't just, go bowless. And that's like South Carolina being ranked in the top 15 and saying, okay, the Gamecocks are back. I mean, it takes more than just a number beside your name to show me if you're back or not. So I'm going to go overrated on that team too.
Yeah, I'm with you on Penn State. I had them as my number one most overrated team, and I think I feel like every year they can never win the big games.
Right.
They're always so hyped going into the season. And I feel like James Franklin is a great coach, and many think he's one of the top coaches around the game. But I just feel like they can never win that big game. But they have everything they need. I mean, they have a great roster. They have one of the best stadiums in college football. They have all the history around their team. But for whatever reason, when it comes to the big games, they can't find a way to win them. And another thing is, I feel like the Big Ten this year is going to be right with the SEC when it comes to how competitive it is. And I feel like even with the talent that they have, they're not on the same level as Oregon and Ohio State, who I think are the two clear favorites for the Big Ten this year. But Yeah, so I had Penn State on there, but luckily they don't have to play Oregon or Michigan, which is very nice for them. But I don't see them winning that Ohio State game. But I still think they'll have a great year. I just don't think that they'll live up to the hype of the college football playoff and all that, which everyone or a lot of people have them doing.
Yeah.
For my second team, I'm staying in the Big Ten, and I'm going Michigan. Coming off the national championship last season, they lost their head coach, Jim Harbaugh. They lost 13 players, which is crazy, to the NFL draft. They had 13 guys drafted, which is a record for their program. I feel like it's going to be hard for them. I still feel like they'll be a good team like Penn State, but I just don't think that they're going to have a lot of new guys on that team. They have a new head coach. They have a lot of drama right now surrounding the team with all the allegations coming out against them for cheating. I feel like it's going to be hard for them to overcome that. And then the third team that I had was in the ACC, Miami. I feel like they're another team like Penn State. Yeah, where just every season they're way overhyped heading in, and they can't win the big games that they need to have a good season. And the last 2 seasons, they've been ranked inside the top 25 heading in to the season. This season, they're ranked 19th. And the last 2 seasons, even though they've started in the top 25, they've finished out of the top 25 by the end of the season. So,
and for Miami, I will say if Cristobal doesn't, I do think he has to obviously getting to a bowl game is going to be good, but that's not the expectation they have in Cam Ward and Cristobal. I think this is, you don't get it done this year, he's gone.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think the same thing with Ryan Day and Ohio State.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he can go 11-0, my opinion. And he loses to Michigan, he's gone.
Yeah, Ohio State fans have had it with him, I feel like. So.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, they got Will Howard, so I think it's going to be really good for him. But it just depends on how Ryan Day. I'm not a big Ryan Day fan, in my opinion. So I do think. I mean, I think this is it for him if he doesn't do it.
I do too. I think both those coaches are definitely on the hot seat. And Miami went 7-6 last season, which is not what they're expecting from him. So,
one of their wins too.
Yeah, but I do think that Cam Ward was probably the second best quarterback in that transfer portal behind Dylan Gabriel at Oregon. So it's gonna be interesting to see what he can do there. And they have a great receiving core, also one of the top receiving cores in the country. But I don't know, it's gonna be interesting to see on the defensive side of the ball if they can hold up. Also, one of the worst college stadiums, in my opinion, playing at
Miami.
Yeah, playing at the Dolphins Stadium, which is 40 minutes or an hour from their college campus.
They're gonna build eventually, they said, but I've been to Hard Rock twice. One was play Miami, and one was when we played in the Orange Bowl versus Tennessee. The Orange Bowl versus Tennessee, great atmosphere.
Yeah.
When we played Miami, I felt like I was at a high school football game.
Yeah. No, it's a great when the Dolphins are playing there, it's a great stadium. But you cannot have your college team play 40 minutes or an hour away.
Stadium yet?
Huh?
It says 2024 and you don't have your own stadium.
Yeah, it's crazy. What have you seen Clemson play at Pitt?
No. So I'm trying to my family, my brother and my dad and my uncle went 2021 when we lost. I'm trying to go this year because I want to go to Pitt.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that'd be fun.
Yeah, I agree. All right, guys, and we'll be right back after a short break with a word from our sponsors.
Are you tired of scrolling endlessly to find the perfect deal?
Who said that?
Me.
Ah! Who are you? How did you get in my house?
Be not afraid. I'm the Frugal Fairy. See, at the Frugaling Shop, we bring the best deals to your doorstep, so you can spend less time searching and more time saving.
Yes, hello? There's a man with wings standing in my living room, and I'm scared.
Home isn't just a place, it's a feeling. That's what Harbor Oasis became for me, a slice of home in Anderson, South Carolina. I stumbled upon this heartwarming marketplace. Roaming through aisles of handcrafted treasures and local art, I felt each piece whispering stories of passion and dedication. It's a place where warmth meets creativity. Join me in experiencing this magical oasis. Explore the beauty, attend soul-enriching workshops, and support local artisans. See for yourself how Harbor Oasis can become a part of your story too. Experience the joy today at Harbor Oasis, located at 5013 SC 24 in Anderson. Have you ever stumbled upon a flavor sensation that sweeps you off your feet? That's Waffle Drop. Nestled in the heart of Greenville, we've spun up the traditional bubble waffle, a thrilling mix of pancake and waffle into an art form. From the whimsical Lil Blue Panda to the decadent Ferrero Rocher ice cream, every bite is an adventure. Imagine savoring a bubble waffle wrapped around your favorite ice cream. Now stop imagining. Visit us at Hampton Station or our new location at 500 Congaree Road in Greenville, which is open during the week to embark on your own delightful journey. Buy now and feel the happiness we blend into every serving. Experience the joy today at Waffle Drop.
All right, welcome back, everyone. And like always, please feel free to comment if there's any topics that you want Cole and I to address before the show is over. Until then, Cole, we've talked about the overrated teams heading into the 2024 season. Now let's get into a few of those underrated teams. Who do you have on your list?
I got Utah with Cam Rising and Coach Kyle Whittingham.
Mm.
Utah as a team, Cam Rising was out most of the year, and I still think they didn't have a horrible year to what they should have had. So you had Cam Rising to that QB room fully healthy.
Yeah.
Play. I think they dominate the Big 12.
I do too. Cam Rising doesn't lose. He does not lose.
And he's got swagger to him.
Yeah.
The kid does not care.
Yeah, I mean, I would hope so. He's in his 7th year of college football. So.
Then I got Ole Miss on the list, with Jackson Dart. The addition of Juice Wells from South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
I just think, everybody was looking at Ole Miss last year as that sleeper team, midway through the year. So now, they got all their pieces. They got all their puzzle pieces. I think this is the year.
Yeah.
I really like Ole Miss.
Yeah, dude, imagine if Ole Miss could have kept Judkins from going to Ohio State if he was in that backfield with that Ole Miss offense. My God.
Be dirty, I can tell you that.
Yeah. I like Utah a lot. I'm with you on them and Ole Miss. I had Clemson in there. I'm surprised you didn't throw Clemson in there.
I kind of want to keep. Okay, when we get, you'll see later.
All right. But yeah, I think Clemson's returning 8 of their 11 starters on offense from the 2024 season, and even though it wasn't a great year on offense, I think you give those guys a full offseason to develop, and you're going to see a lot from them. I like Cade Klubnik heading into his 2nd year as a full-time starter. Phil Maffa, I think, might be the best running back in the ACC this season. And I think I really like that Clemson O-line with the hiring of Matt Luke and that revamped O-line. And defensively, we already know how Clemson's going to be. They're ranked inside the top 10 for defenses headed into the season, according to Pro Football Focus. And I wouldn't be surprised at all to see Clemson compete for that 10 to 12th seed in the playoff.
Damn right.
Second team I had was Liberty. A lot of people do like Liberty a lot, and so a lot of people probably wouldn't say that they're underrated, but I think when you look at, I think a lot of people assume like, okay, they might get that 12th seed for the non-power conference guaranteed spot, but I think that they have the ability to actually win a game in the playoffs. They went 13-1 last season. They have a terrific offense, and their quarterback was a 5-star recruit. He committed to Tennessee, had some off-the-field issues, which led him to leaving Tennessee and heading to Liberty. But, I mean, he He was a dog, Hayden Salter. He had 32 touchdowns last season and only 6 interceptions, which is a terrific stat line. I like them a lot. And the third team that I had, I had 2 more teams, actually. I had Missouri. I like their quarterback a lot, and Cook, and I think that they are the best receiver in the country, and Luther Burden the third. And I like them a lot. They had a really good year last year, and I think that they'll have a good year this year and could compete to win the SEC. SEC is loaded this year, like they always are, but especially this year. I mean, I really feel like there's 5 or 6 teams in the SEC competing
for playoffs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Going back to what you said about Liberty, I agree on that end. You know, Coach Chadwell's leading a good program. I thought they definitely had a chance last year to beat Oregon in the bowl game.
Mm-hmm.
And for the first couple series, you know, it was tight. And then that second quarter, I think they just put it on them. But I do think they're capable of getting that guaranteed group of 5 spot and eventually could win a playoff game.
Yeah.
I could see that a lot. I could see it. I
think that Oregon game, like, prepares them a lot for this upcoming season if they do make the playoffs. Because their issue is that, I mean, they don't play the same type of talent week in, week out like these other teams that are going to make the playoffs are going to in the SEC, the ACC, Big Ten, Big 12. But I feel like playing a team like Oregon last season, a lot of those guys that were on that roster are back this season, and they'll know what they need to do to go out and win a game like that. And Oregon was went away against Washington from making that playoff last year. I mean, Oregon was right there in the playoff mix last season. So Liberty got a great look at a really good team last year.
And I think I do agree. It prepares them for this season because, like you said, they don't play the talent that these teams in the SEC, Big 10, Big 12, ACC, and they don't play the same teams they play week in and week out. So I agree with everything you said. It prepares them for the season because now they know what to expect.
Yeah.
Now they played a good team like Oregon, so they're okay. You know, this isn't, you know, Conference USA or I can't remember what conference they're in, but
Conference USA, yeah.
Okay, so I do think it will prepare them well for the season and jump up 12 games maybe if they make it. So.
Yeah, we'll see. It's gonna be really interesting to see how this 12-team playoff works. I mean, we keep going back to it, but
it's either going to be awful or it's really going to be fun. Like I could genuinely see, I could see it being like very interesting.
Yeah,
I mean, the season. When would the national championship game be? Like mid-January, late January? Because the second week, but it's either going to be really fun. You know, you got a bunch of playoff games to watch, a bunch of sports bets, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But they're going to be really good or really bad.
I think it makes the end of the regular season way more interesting too, because normally you're looking at these teams in the 10 to 20 range last 2 games of the season. And you're like, well, they're not competing. They're just competing for a better bowl game. They're not competing for the playoffs. But you're going to see, I mean, you're going to have great games to watch the entire season now because you know that there's really about 20 teams until that last game ends in the regular season that are competing for a playoff spot.
Yep.
So
I'm wondering one last thing on that. For the home teams of the playoff games, is it going to be a home atmosphere like normal, or are you going to have to keep it neutral like how the other championships are? And
it's not at either team's home stadium. It's neutral site.
No, but there can be home playoff games.
No, they're all neutral site, aren't they? Because they're still bowl games technically, but like they're playoff games.
I think playoff games. I think there's home games too.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm like 100% positive. I can look.
I'll look into that. While you're looking into that, I'll talk about my last underrated team. I'm heading to the ACC, and I'm going Virginia Tech. I've talked about them a lot. I've been high on them over the off season. But at first glance, they're not a great team. They're 7-6 last season. But I think that they're a legitimate threat to every team in the ACC this year, especially at home. And Virginia Tech won 5 of their last 7 games in 2023. And during that stretch, they had one of the best offenses in the entire country. In those games, they put up 48 points, 55 points, and 41 points. And I think that their offense, almost all those guys that were on that team are returning this season. And I think that they're going to be a really interesting team to watch. So.
Yeah, I really like Kyron Drones, man.
Yeah.
He's a beast.
Yeah.
I really do think they're a very coming into the season. They're going to be scary.
Yeah.
I really do like Virginia Tech, and I'll be at that game in Blacksburg. That's a fun one.
Yeah. And I don't think they're competing to win the ACC, but I do think that they're not going to get blown out a single game this season, and I think that they have the ability to upset any team that they play.
Do they play Florida State?
I'm going to look real quick.
I know they play us. But even if they say they play both of us and they lose, they went out, they go 10-2.
We play them on the road.
Yeah, we play them on the road in Blacksburg. I know that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think if they're ranked high enough and they play good all year.
Yeah. They do avoid Florida State this season, which is big time.
That's big for them. So they're looking to end our season.
Yeah. So I didn't know they didn't play Florida State. That makes it a lot more interesting because we're the hardest team on their schedule now. So
dang, so that's gonna be that could eventually be College game day.
Yeah.
I'm excited, man.
Yeah, me too.
The first round of college football playoff games are gonna be at
home.
Seeds home stadium.
Oh wow.
So that's gonna be interesting.
Yes. Oh, I don't know how ticket sales will work for that.
Yeah.
I know obviously I played at Furman. But the way that the playoffs worked for that was there were home games but your team, so like when we would host a playoff game, we didn't control ticket sales. The NCAA controlled ticket sales. So away teams had a certain amount of tickets. So I feel like the NCAA will also run ticket sales for these games. It won't be like if Oregon's hosting a home game, I don't think that they will control ticket sales.
And I think it'll kind of work how, like, let's say baseball in a sense. Like, I feel like all the season ticket holders would get priority.
Yeah.
For this, so that's already most of the stadium. And then I feel like that, like say we play Ole Miss. I feel like Ole Miss is going to get so many tickets.
Yeah.
But I'm not even worried about the ticket side of things. I'm saying, like, how's the atmosphere is going to work? Like in baseball, I think they just changed it. Going like this year, you can finally play with their walk-up songs without it being like like an advantage. Like, is it going to be that way? But I feel like if you're hosting a playoff game, you deserved it. Like
I agree.
Dude, win.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. All right, and we'll be right back after a short word from our sponsors.
They say a home is a safe haven, but what about when that safety is threatened? Last year, a storm hit our area hard, and suddenly the roof over my head, my family's shelter, was compromised. I felt vulnerable. But then Canopy Roofing stepped in. Their dedication, much like that of a caring family, restored more than just our roof. They restored our sense of security. If you're ever in need, let Canopy protect your haven too. Experience the same peace of mind. See for yourself how Canopy Roofing can safeguard your family's comfort and safety.
Ever wondered what it's like to soar above trees, just minutes away from the city rush? I tried the Treetop Quest Greenville, and guys, it's an exhilarating blend of thrill and nature. With over 60 obstacles and zip lines fit for any skill level, the adventure leaves you buzzing with adrenaline. You can swing through courses multiple times in a 2.5-hour session. So why wait? Get your adventure spirit on and check them out today and feel the rush for yourself.
Ever find yourself needing custom gear that really stands out? At Carolina Printing Sports and Trophy in Hartsville, SC, we personalize everything from t-shirts to trophies, making sure your brand or team logo pops. Whether it's screen printing, embroidery, or dazzling plaques, we've got you covered. Swing by today and let's create something unique just for you.
All right, welcome back, everyone. And before we head out today, let's go over one more topic heading into the season, and that will be the quarterbacks around the country who we think are under the radar. Cole, who do you got on your list?
Top of my list, I got Preston Stone at SMU. I feel like SMU is – I'm not going to say they're the – okay, this is going to sound insane, but I kind of could see Preston Stone and SMU being a really good team this year. I'm not going to say they're that Virginia Tech team that could be the sleeper, but I feel like they could be scary. And I feel like they're not afraid to play anybody in the ACC, in my opinion. You know?
I agree.
I'm gonna go Haynes King at Georgia Tech. We saw what he could do last year. He was really good last year.
He's a good quarterback.
He just played a good defense in Clemson, and he still didn't play awful that game. He just didn't have a chance to get the ball out of his hands.
Also, in the new college football game, he is insane. He's a great quarterback.
I haven't got a chance to play with him yet.
Yeah, but his only issue to me is turnovers. I think if he can limit the turnovers in 2024, he will be one of the best quarterbacks in the ACC. But he's got to limit those turnovers. He had a lot of them last year. So
we got two more. I'm gonna go Kyron Jones at Virginia Tech, like we talked about, and then I'm gonna go Cade Klubnik.
Okay, there it is. There it is.
Okay, I got to. You know, everybody thinks he's horrible. Everybody thinks he's going to be awful going in this season. You know, Clemson's same old Clemson. You know, Georgia's going to blow them out week one, this and that, all these narratives. And if it happens, it happens. But I think this Cade Klubnik ran offense with the addition of Matt Luke, the offensive line coach. You know, you got a full second year of Garrett Riley in the offense coordinator room.
Mm-hmm.
You got all these freaking weapons around you. You got Phil Moff in the backfield. You got Jake Brenningscourt tight end. You got Antonio Williams, Tyler Brown, TJ Moore, Brian Westcott, Troy Stellato. Why you should win with all that.
Yeah.
And this kid wants to win.
Mm-hmm.
And so I can't wait to see him August 31st in Atlanta. I think this kid's going to be ready, and I'm excited. Everything I've seen so far in fall camp, you know, everybody obviously it's just practice. He's playing his own team. But this mullet season for Cade Klubnik, and I'm ready for it.
I agree. I think he will have a great season. And I'm going. So for mine, I'm going out of the ACC. You mentioned all the ones in the ACC, so I will head out of there. And the first guy I will mention is Brady Cook from Missouri. I think that. I mean, obviously he's a good quarterback. Everyone I think would agree he's a good quarterback after last season, but I'd make the argument that he's one of the best quarterbacks in the country. And it doesn't hurt that he has the best wide receiver in the country that he's thrown to in Luther Burden III. I think that he's one of the best true passers in college football. And I think his numbers are going to be off the charts this season. I'm also going Jalen Daniels at Kansas. He's had some injury issues, but when he's healthy, he's a great quarterback. And because he's a great improviser, he can throw really, really well, but he can also use his legs to make plays where it doesn't seem like there's a play to be made. And he's, in a way, brought Kansas football back from the laughing stock that they were, where most people thought that they were the worst team in college football, along with like UMass and UConn probably. But I think Kansas is back to being a legitimate threat to teams. And they're also in the Big 12, which I think is the weakest out of the Power 4 conferences this season. So it'll be interesting to see what they can do. And then for my last pick, I'm going with Garrett Nussmeier, the LSU quarterback. He doesn't have a big sample size at all. He's only played in 6 games with only 1 start. But I like him a lot. And in their bowl game last season, which was his only start last season. He threw for 395 yards and 3 touchdowns. I mean, that's a hell of a first start of the season to have. And obviously there's not a big sample size, so there's not a lot to talk about with him, but I think that he has the ability to be a really good quarterback this season. So we'll see.
I agree fully. And I could say one more. I think Will Howard is that kind of guy that could be the same way, but like if anything, he's on like not a hot seat. Obviously, he can't get fired, but I feel like he's in a hot seat type of deal because he's coming in and trying to do something to keep Ryan Day's job.
Yeah,
in my opinion. So that's on another level. Like, okay, let's go, Will Howard. Like you gotta step. But
he's also got a lot of pressure on him because behind him is Sayin, the 5-star transfer. And so if he doesn't have a good start to the season, then
he's a stud.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. You know that every year Ohio State's going to have a loaded quarterback room every single year.
It happens every year. And they all branch out eventually.
Yeah.
Other places.
Yep. So, all right, guys. Well, we hope you enjoyed the episode today, and join us next Tuesday at noon for another episode of the Best Damn Clemson Show with Cole and Evan. It's great talking to y'all, and we'll see you next week. Thank you.
See you guys.